Dwayne, The Rock Johnson. The man who's turned eyebrow raises, muscle flexes, and motivational quotes into an international currency. This guy has dominated wrestling, Hollywood, and probably your entire feed at this point. But behind the action-packed movies and Instagram glory lies a whole lot of rock bottom. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into the wild, chaotic, and downright hilarious world of everything wrong with Dwayne Johnson. Sorry to interrupt, but if you don't subscribe, The Rock says you'll smell what he's cooking, and it's regret. The Rock's Dumb and Dumber phase. Okay, first off, before Dwayne, The Rock Johnson was the Hollywood juggernaut and meme lord we know today. He was, well, Rocky Maivia. This early wrestling persona was like that awkward first date where neither party is having a good time. Fans hated him. Like, they really hated him. The chant, "Die, Rocky, die," echoed through arenas like a broken record on repeat. But instead of taking his ball and going home, The Rock did what any normal person would do. He reinvented himself as The Rock and got the entire wrestling world chanting, "Finally, The Rock has come back." You can do it! So here's the moral of the story. If you fail miserably at first, just become an egotistical trash talker and start flexing your eyebrows. You'll be fine, trust me. Oprah's Rock for President moment. Remember that moment in 2017 when Oprah Winfrey casually tossed out the idea that Dwayne Johnson should run for president? Oh, how the world collectively gasped. Half in disbelief, half in the hope that it wasn't some sort of reality TV fever dream. Oprah suggested The Rock could lead the free world. Really, Oprah? Sure, he can bench press a tank, but running the country? Nah, he can't even get through a Fast and Furious shoot without throwing some shade at his co-stars. While The Rock's charisma could probably convince a few people, running a nation isn't about eyebrow raises and flexing your muscles. It's about, policy and leadership. So maybe let's leave the presidency to, I don't know, someone who's actually read a book on governance. Red One overload and behind-the-scenes drama. 2024. The year Dwayne Johnson decided that Red One wasn't just a Christmas movie, it was the movie that would us forget about all other Christmas movies. His social media blitz was so intense it felt like you couldn't scroll without being reminded of it. But that's not all. The behind-the-scenes drama was juicier than the scenes on screen. The Rock was reportedly late to set, unprofessional, and contributing to the already bloated $250 million budget.
What?
Of course, The Rock denied it, chalking it up to exaggerated tabloid gossip. Still, when you're a star like Dwayne Johnson, any hint of drama is a big deal. Hollywood loves shiny faces, but even The Rock can't avoid a little storm behind the scenes. Was the movie worth all the fuss? Let's just say, less really is more. What do you think? Let me know down below. Fast and Furious drama. Dwayne Johnson's time in the Fast and Furious franchise was less family and more feudy. It all started innocently enough, with Dwayne showing up as a muscle-bound lawman and quickly evolving into a nearly supernatural being who could seemingly defeat physics and logic with every car chase. But then came the real drama, his feud with Vin Diesel. Oh boy. Dwayne called out Vin for being unprofessional, and Vin fired back with passive-aggressive statements. It was like Days of Our Lives, except with more muscle and way less acting. After some soul-searching, aka getting paid to put aside their differences, they patched it up. But for a while, it was Fast and Furious, the Ego Edition. A soap opera with explosions, because why not? The Gym Glimmer. Okay guys, still here? Good. Now let's talk about Dwayne's legendary Instagram gym posts. You know, the ones where he's dripping in sweat, muscles bulging, and looking like he's been through an entire action movie shoot, even though he's only doing bicep curls. Enter the fake sweat scandal. Some eagle-eyed internet detectives pointed out that Dwayne's sweat looks more like the kind of dramatic glisten you'd see on a character who's just survived an explosion. It's a little too perfect. Too shiny. Was The Rock using a water bottle to spray himself down and achieve that glistening, heroic glow? The internet had questions, and we all had one thought. No one sweats like that after a few squats. So either Dwayne is secretly the hardest worker in Hollywood, or he's just a master of setting up Instagram shots. Either way, let's agree it's a little too much sweat for 15 minutes of lunges. Flexing the fortune. Dwayne Johnson loves to remind us just how much money he's raking in, and while there's nothing wrong with celebrating success, sometimes it feels like he's trying a bit too hard to flaunt his wealth. From his countless business ventures, like his tequila brand, clothing line, and more, to his frequent mentions of how hard he works, The Rock's financial empire is as much a part of his persona as his eyebrow raise. But here's the thing. There's a fine line between empowering others with stories of success and coming off as a little tone-deaf when you're sharing multi-million-dollar deals while most people are struggling to make rent. Of course, Dwayne earned his fortune through sheer hustle, but it starts to feel like he's showing off when he's posting about a $100,000 watch or dropping casual mentions of his small empire. It's all part of his personal brand, but sometimes the humble brag comes off a little too strong, making us wonder if his wealth is more about flexing for the camera than enjoying the fruits of his labor. Just pick a side, Rock. Dwayne Johnson's political views are like that friend who says they're not sure, but then talks about it at every party. One minute, he's proudly endorsing Joe Biden for president, creating waves like he's starring in a new action thriller. The next minute, he's sidestepping everything with a "I just want to unite people, bro" speech. Fans, especially the ones who didn't know which side to pick in the first place, were left scratching their heads. Was he trying to play the role of the wise, unifying figure? Or was he just trying to get the most likes without alienating anyone? The flip-flopping was more confusing than his Instagram workout videos. The Rock's moves seemed more calculated to avoid conflict than actually take a stance. Dwayne, pick a lane, and let's see you stick to it. High price, low performance. Dwayne Johnson's Project Rock line with Under Armour was supposed to redefine gym wear. You know, the perfect mix of performance, strength, and style. But what we got? Overpriced shoes that looked like they belonged in a fashion show, not a squat rack. The $140 sneakers? Sure, they'll make you look like you're about to bench press a truck, but good luck trying to actually lift in them. Fans were disappointed to find that these gym shoes didn't exactly live up to the promise of supporting a heavyweight workout. In the end, it wasn't about lifting massive weights. It was about flexing a massive brand. The Rock's line might have the swag, but it definitely didn't bring the weighty performance to match. Maybe next time stick with what you know, Dwayne. Muscle, not merchandise. The Logan Paul Fallout. After Logan Paul's infamous Japan Forest controversy, Dwayne Johnson quickly hit the delete button on their joint content like it was a bad breakup. You'd think The Rock was distancing himself from a criminal mastermind, not a YouTube star who made a truly spectacularly misguided decision. Was it a principled stand, or just a clever PR move to protect his brand? The Rock's public image is a carefully crafted masterpiece, so naturally, he took the chance to act like none of it ever happened. When you're one of the most famous people on the planet, why not flex your power to erase the past with a flick of your wrist? It's a Hollywood clean break, or, you know, a clean flex. Either way, it was a well-calculated move. Black Adam's box office fumble. Remember when Dwayne Johnson said Black Adam was going to save the DC universe? Yeah, well, turns out the only thing it saved was DC's reputation for disappointing superhero flicks. The movie tanked so hard, you'd think it was intentionally trying to sink the franchise. Despite The Rock's massive hype and "I'm going to change the world" vibes, the film left fans yawning and critics sharpening their claws. It was bland, uninspired, and the box office numbers reflected that harsh truth. After all the promotion, it felt like fans were led into a trap, only to be handed a mediocre action flick that barely broke even. So, what went wrong? Was the hype a little too much for even The Rock's muscles to carry? Maybe next time, a superhero movie needs more than flexing to succeed. His vocal talent. So, in 2024, Dwayne Johnson decided to venture into uncharted waters. Singing in Moana 2. While fans gave him points for stepping outside his action star comfort zone, his voice? Well, let's just say it wasn't exactly winning any Disney Princess Awards. Some were charmed by his effort, while others were audibly cringing, wondering if he was more suited for wrestling than musical theater. You don't go from throwing yourself through skyscrapers in Skyscraper to serenading us with island tunes without a few raised eyebrows. Let's be real, his singing didn't quite match Lin-Manuel Miranda's magical touch. But hey, he gave it a shot. And if we're lucky, maybe The Rock will take his vocal talents to Frozen 3, where he'll belt out some tune that'll leave us all wondering what happened to the notes. The Titan Games cancellation. Dwayne Johnson's The Titan Games had so much potential. It was supposed to be the next big physical competition. But what really happened? Well, it lasted 2 seasons before being unceremoniously canned. Turns out, the show wasn't really about the athletes. It was all about The Rock. Viewers didn't tune in for the brutal challenges or inspiring feats of strength. They tuned in to see Dwayne flex, literally and figuratively, for an hour. The show often felt like an extended promotional video for his brand of muscle, leaving viewers wondering if they were watching a reality competition or Dwayne's personal workout session. Maybe people just weren't ready for a show that was as obsessed with The Rock as we all are with his gym selfies. Guess we can just wait for the inevitable Titan Games 2.0. But only if Dwayne's ready to flex again. $3 billion lawsuit for kidnapping. In 2022, Dwayne Johnson got hit with a bizarre $3 billion kidnapping lawsuit. Yes, you heard that right. $3 billion. The twist? There was absolutely no evidence to back it up, and the case was promptly dismissed. But just the fact that The Rock's name got tangled up in this absurdity was enough to make everyone double take. Imagine being famous enough that you're randomly dragged into a bizarre legal mess. But that's the price you pay when you're a global superstar. You get stuck in some truly wacko headlines. The lawsuit didn't go anywhere, but the mere idea of Dwayne Johnson involved in a kidnapping case only adds more to his larger-than-life mythology. Because why not, right? When you're famous enough, everything, from lawsuits to action movies, becomes a headline. Wrapping it all up. From Black Adam's box office disaster to his less-than-perfect singing career, there's no denying that Dwayne Johnson's path is anything but smooth. For every blockbuster, there's a misstep that makes you raise an eyebrow. But hey, what's the fun of being a megastar without a little bit of drama? Whether he's attempting to conquer political waters or making us cringe with some very questionable singing choices, Dwayne keeps us entertained. His larger-than-life persona will always keep us coming back for more, even if some of those moves leave us shaking our heads. After all, who else can manage to flex their way through every disaster and still come out on top? Keep flexing, Dwayne. You've got this. The unnecessary cameos. Dwayne Johnson is the king of cameos. And by king, I mean he's everywhere, whether you want him there or not. At this point, it seems like he shows up in every movie, TV show, and video game just to remind us that he's Dwayne Johnson and, well, he's really, really good at it. But let's be real. Not every movie or show needs The Rock to pop up and flash his signature eyebrow raise. Sometimes his cameos feel more like a desperate grab for attention than an actual meaningful addition to the plot. It's like that one friend who shows up uninvited at every party with a 6-pack of beer and the same old jokes. Sure, he's charming, but after a while, you just wish he'd stop crashing the scene and let someone else have their moment. Dwayne, you're a legend, but maybe it's time to stop trying to be the star of every side story. The rock bottom on controversy. Dwayne Johnson's wrestling career was filled with iconic moments, but not all of them were shining examples of class. Take his rock bottom scandal, for example. The wrestling move that defined his career was also, coincidentally, the name of his attitude towards certain storylines. One of the most infamous incidents came when The Rock was embroiled in a feud with the WWE's management about pay-per-view earnings. A battle that was as dirty as the moves he performed in the ring. The Rock didn't exactly keep it clean, and it got ugly. Fans were left questioning whether his charisma could cover up his backstage drama. Sure, he played the part of the all-American hero, but behind the scenes, he wasn't afraid to throw punches where it really hurt: the wallet. Dwayne's real rock bottom was his public fallout over money matters, but we all still bought the tickets. Well, there you have it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a man who's conquered Hollywood, wrestling, social media, and nearly every product known to man. Still, one thing's for sure: Dwayne keeps us entertained, whether he's lifting weights, acting, singing, or flexing his way through a drama. What do you think of The Rock? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.